Look, I waited a solid 48 hours. It's Romania Black, and yes, I waited 2 days. I waited 2 days, but I couldn't wait any longer. I asked the moderator today, I was like, hey, be happy. I was like, would you be able to maybe look over those comments like a day early? And they were like, yeah, okay. Because the urge to binge is really hard with this series, and I do a pretty good job of holding myself back because there are other shows on the channel I have to keep up with, and I usually wait for the comments until, a good solid 4 or 5 days have passed. But after episode 9, where poor Wen KeXing has come to the realization that he done goofed and Zhou left, I was like, no. I was like, we have to go back. I was like, Zhou needs to come back. We need to have Zhou Zishu come back. And I couldn't wait. I was like, if they give us an entire episode where we don't see Zhou and Wen KeXing reconnect, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I need to find out now if this is the episode where it's going to happen. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But last episode was wild. Last episode, I was the girl splashing in a puddle like a magic carp. It was just... And I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that this entire series. So that's fine. That's great. So I want to talk about some comments from episode 6 and episode 7 before we dive into this, because I do have a couple. There are no dub changes for this episode either, from dub to sub, so tears, but that's okay. Last episode we didn't have any, and it was wonderful, so I'm fine with that. Specific Soup in episode 6 says, when you were talking about how Wen KeXing furrows his brows without any lines, I think they do use some filter in the show so people's faces look smoother than in real life. The actors are still incredibly beautiful, but I want to point it out, so don't worry about wrinkles when you're watching C-dramas because they will use filters. Well, that makes me feel better because damn, not a wrinkle to be seen on these camera lenses, and I'm like, I want whatever filter they're using. I would love that filter. Get me the glamour glow. Girl needs it pretty bad. So thank you, Specific Soup, for making me feel better. And CRHJ2HK says for episode 6, the immediate change of Zhou's demeanor is the cherry on top. Him feigning to feel sick to make Wen KeXing go search for food is peak diva behavior. He's so aware of his power and so conscious of Wen KeXing staring at him. The tension is tensioning and I can't stay still. Yeah, it's easy to forget because Zhou is such a tsundere and he doesn't like to outwardly show it, but it's so easy to forget that he knows what he's doing. He knows. And then they continue on with their comments saying, I like how Zhou only looks at Wen KeXing directly when he wants to corner him. But most of the time he's looking away in the distance to avoid his gaze. Yeah, the only times that Zhou Zishu has looked at Wen KeXing is when he's confronting him and being like, what is going on? Which, kind of got to the height of things last episode. So most of the time he avoids his gaze because he doesn't want to stare back. Wen KeXing can look all day because he's shameless. But Zhou Zishu, our diva assassin, he has some pride. He can't just be shamelessly looking at Wen KeXing. Now, can he? But he has started to come around, and then all of the good times that were going so well just collapsed last episode. So they had their first fight, and I'm more distraught than they are. So Pancake had a comment for episode 7, but before that, they noted on Discord that there is a channel called eSoup, that when Wen KeXing calls himself Philanthropist Wen, they pointed out that his name, Wen could be like a formal title, and then the Shan from Philanthropist and Ren meaning person. But the thing is, it's all a pun. Shan from Philanthropist sounds like the same character of Shan in Fan. So basically they're calling Wen KeXing Mr. Wen with the fan. So he's saying he's Philanthropist Wen, but it really is a pun where he's like, actually, I'm just a guy with a fan. And that ties to his personality. And, is he putting up a persona? Who is he really? He doesn't want to tell Zhou Zishu about it. So Pancake says for episode 7, Wen KeXing keeps comparing Zhou Zishu to a willow catkin because his fake name, Zhou Zhu, the character Zhu means catkin, the floating, fluffy willow catkin kind. Okay, that makes more sense why he keeps calling him that, because his nickname kind of references it. Kind of like Wen KeXing with Mr. Wen and the fan. That makes sense. Pancake also says, remember in episode 3 when KeXing asked Gu Xiang who the cutest person in the world is? We all remember what Wen KeXing's answer was, of course, but Gu Xiang answered, someone who treats me to dinner. Well, well, Cao Weining sure scores points with her. I forgot about that. I love it. I honestly can't decide if I want to ship Gu Xiang more with Chengling or ship her with Sang Weining. I kind of am leaning more towards Cao Weining in a sense, because he would drive Wen KeXing crazier. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Gu Xiang can have her cake and eat it too. Maybe they'll both stick around. And then maybe Wen KeXing feels like a sugar daddy. Maybe he feels like his sugar daddy plan initially didn't work out, so now he's changing strategies in episode 7 and becoming the sugar baby instead. We love a flexible man. Well, Wen KeXing likes the flexible waist of Zhou Zishu, and maybe he's hoping Zhou Zishu will like a flexible man that can be a sugar baby and a sugar daddy. I love that Wen KeXing is just throwing whatever he is so desperate to know if Zhou Zishu likes him. He is throwing everything at the wall, being like, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you have this kink? What about this? Oh my gosh, my dude. And then Anime Annie pointed out 2 things. One was that the long nails that the tragicomic ghost wears are a symbol of wealth and power in ancient Chinese customs. For the tragicomic ghost, long nails reflected that the person was above doing or needing to do any menial labor. And the nail guards, huji, were an elaborate fashion accessory to protect their nails from breaking, while also showing off the wealth they had. I can never wear long nails. I mess around with too much stuff, and I do too much farm work that they would break off in an instant, so I would need those nail guards to do anything. I definitely am not flaunting any wealth because of my farm hands. Farm hands are not flaunting any nail dubs, but speaking of dub, Anime Annie pointed out that in the Japanese dub, the dub actor for Wen KeXing, and I'm gripping the seat as I say this, is Junichi Suabe. That's too much power. That's too much. That's too much. Wen KeXing is jovial and flirty and light on his feet. Junichi Suabe is a damn sex demon. No, it's too much power. No. I need to hear it. I need to hear clips of his voice. I need to hear it, but I don't know if there are any clips out there that aren't spoilery that have him voicing Wen KeXing, but I need to find them because, oh my God. I wonder, I have a VPN. I wonder if I can set it to Japan and find on Netflix Word of Honor if it's on there and watch like the first episode with him in it. I wonder if I can do that. We might have to experiment with that. We might have to do some experimenting to see if it's possible, but oh my God. So yes, thank you all so much for the comments. I really appreciate them. I've got my coffee is stocked, ready to go. And I am super excited. I didn't see how long this episode was. I was too excited pulling it up to see how long it was, but we are going to start at the 1 minute and 48 second mark and see where we go to. But I didn't see how long this episode actually was. So we might be in for the long haul, y'all. But I need to know. I need to know what's going to happen. Are we going to see, are Zhou Zishu and Wen KeXing going to make up this episode? Or am I going to be tortured for another week and have to wait and see? I'm also traveling soon, so I'm trying to record a little bit ahead because once I start traveling, by the time I get back, you all will be caught up with me. So that's kind of the plan. That hiatus when I'm gone, it's like for 8 days. It's going to be brutal, y'all. But we're not there yet. So anyway, I've talked for 10 minutes. I hope you all enjoy this episode with me, but we're not going to waste any more time. We are going to start Word of Honor episode 10. We're a third of the way in, y'all. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. Okay. Oh my God. Is he digging the grave himself? Because they all left the bodies there? Oh my God! And his sword broke! Or was it just somebody else's sword? He's there already! Oh. Oh, he didn't see them at first. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. I didn't expect him to see him, like, right off the bat. Oh. Oh. And he's so heartbroken about it. Oh. Oh. Oh, why? Oh. 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 Oh my god. Because he would be one too. Oh. Ah! Why my heart? Why? He's sitting there, like, just digging with the damn sword. No, I wanted them to make up, not for it to get worse. And they have to have a breakup song? No. Although, Zhou looks amazing in that robe. Oh. Oh. I mean... Oh, shit! Oh my god! Why would you have this shown to us? And, well, that, yes. And her, yeah. If we're gonna go back to that. Oh. Oh, my heart. He is! We'll talk to each other! Don't say he's not your soulmate just based on that! No! No! Son of a bitch! You can't come in! No! Don't you be trying to get sloppy seconds! He is your soulmate! Don't you dare! Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Where's Gu Xiang to get onto him? With all these ladies. Oh. I hope Gu Xiang goes and gives him a piece of her mind. Oh. Why are we having a breakup and all of this so soon? No. This is Heartbreak Hotel. I don't like Wen KeXing being sleazy with these ladies. I don't want that. Oh my god. Quit drinking your sorrows away, you two bakas! No. Oh my god, don't you two see? You need each other. Oh my god, how many of those did he drink? Bitch. Oh. Oh. That guy's like, damn, he can put him away. Gu Xiang, Chengling, you guys need to get together. Ugh! I don't like seeing them both miserable. No. Oh my god. Dude, you've had enough. Did they all get just... These girls got wasted. It was Wasted Wednesday. You two are soulmates, so quit it. Oh. No. Oh. 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 Are we talking like Liu Zhao? Oh. Oh my god, I need these two to get back together. I cannot. I cannot stand them being apart. No. Nope. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was the one that caused the attack. Well, he was leading the attack, I guess. So I guess he was leading the beggar gang and the others? Oh, now. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, this is the one time the Ghost Valley might be someone to blame. Well, I don't disagree with you on that. You might be right about that. Oh. I thought that it had. We were under the assumption. This all kind of started. Oh. Oh, now we're gonna bring this up. I mean... Oh, wow. Oh. Right. But are you sure it was them and not just pretending to be? Oh my god! Are you bringing this up? I was gonna borrow it. I was just getting it back. It was leased out. I can't believe that Zhao Jing called out him being drunk. Wow. I mean, interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, this is Sparta. Wow. Shinshin's like, it is up for grabs. First come, first serve. Well, he's kind of been doing that. Oh. Ha! It wasn't me. He's just like, Shaggy, it wasn't me. Hmm. Oh, wow. Now we're at this. We have shifted locations. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Hmm. Who are these folks again? Oh, the broken sword. The broken sword. Okay. Oh. So meanwhile, Broken Sword's having all these scuttlebutts. There were so many like plot threads going on at the same time. And I'm just over here wanting these two gay men to make up. He's still dead. He'd be pretty corpsey by now. Oh, the plot thickens. What? What? Now they think that Shin Shin and them killed him? Oh, bitch. I fell down some stairs. Say I'm not here, dumbass. Say, oh my god, the sass! The sass! So now Out Loudsy's getting blamed on the Five Lakes. But the Five Lakes are blaming, they had been blaming the Ghost Valley, but now they're going to blame somebody else. Oh, bitch, what? Man, I can't fathom the hangover that Zhou Zishu would be having right now if I were him. I would just leave my body and just start anew. How you can open your eyes without a massive headache, I don't know, sir. They had to light all the candles from all the vomit from where you threw up from your hangover, sir. That's also an incredible amount of candles. Get your moon boots on, sir. I love the moon boots that they all wear. It's so great. I love his collar's just a little bit untucked. It's a little bit disheveled. Oh. Hello. Why are there all these candles burning? Oh! Hey you, third wheel! Oh, you just trying to take Wen KeXing's spot, sir? Oh. I feel for you, sir. I would like for you to find love, but you need to go somewhere else. Hmm. Oh. He created them? He created them? Oh, dude, you are trying to get in on this. No, no. Oh. Why is he looking at that statue all funny? Ah. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Oh. Oh. I know you like Zhou, and I don't blame you, my dude. He's hot, but Wen KeXing, they're soulmates. I'm sorry. Quit trying to butt in. Ah! You're coming off desperate, sir. Get out. Ooh. 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 Well, about that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm. Well. Well. Did you not piece this together? Hmm. Oh, you're gonna trash talk Wen KeXing or... Hmm. Well, at least Zhou is realizing that none of this is benefiting Wen KeXing. Oh, he is totally crushing. I love it! He's like, why is everybody hitting on me? Why does everyone love me? And he knows he's dying. Han Jing does. Ooh. Uh, have they? Mm. Oh, Han Jing is giving very Jian Chang vibes to me, in a way, similarly. Oh my god, why? I wonder if Han Jing is going to tell Wen KeXing about all of this. Oh. 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 All the angst! The angst! I'm not ready for all the angst. We're in big shit. We're up Shit's Creek without a paddle, sir. We're all pissed. What? Oh shit! Chengling's too young! This ain't no Disney movie. Yeah, oh no! Oh my god. Don't call Chengling a little bastard! You son of a bitch! Them's fighting words! Oh, we gotta stop this wedding. That is the most redneck thing is, you gotta get married, son. Can't have sex till you're married. Great Warrior Gold Bean. My master loves nuts. I love Chengling is like asserting his heterosexuality by not eating the nuts. She's like, what? No. Oh, what's on his mouth? Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh, don't you make him cry! I'll break their legs. Oh. 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 Oh, well, isn't that fun? Oh. Oh. Girl, the shade. I fell down some stairs. Hmm. Uh-huh. Gu Xiang's like, I need to leave. Bye. I'll leave the nuts. Y'all have fun. She just skips away. God, I love Gu Xiang. I love Gu Xiang so much. Gu Xiang is so good for him. It's the paid promotion of the series. It's the paid promotion of the series. It's not a cornetto, but it'll work. Oh, she is really pretty. I love that light blue on her. Oh. She's like, I made you steam buns, bitch. You're gonna eat them steam buns. Oh, bitch. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well. Oh. Oh. Oh, he knows. He's like, I don't want to marry you. Oh, wow. He's like, it's not you, it's me. Oh, no! Well, she was right there! She's like, I get it. Disney marriages, I get it. Great Warrior Golden Bean. I love that she calls him that. They're having a fight. Oh, no. Because they're my dad's, kind of. They're yours, too. No. He gets beat up every day. Why would he be happy? Exactly. Yes, exactly. Oh, and Gu Xiang does not like people being imprisoned. Oh my god, how long's he been drinking? Oh. Oh. Oh, good, good. Good. Come back, Gu Xiang. Settle things. Get him on his feet. Uh-oh. Something big. Oh. 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 Oh, bitch. Yeah. Oh, bitch. Okay, so that was why she. Okay, this all makes sense now. I get this now. Now it all makes sense. It was just a flesh wound. Oh. Ooh. We're gonna go back to that. Uh-huh. Oh. Mm. Mm. Yeah, it's a bit obvious. Correct. Oh. Okay. Oh. She's like, oh shit, here we go. You know, like a puppy. Like a puppy! Yes! Yes! Like another dog. Mm. He's like, we've talked about this. Oh. 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 That's mean, dude. Amethyst. Oh. Oh. Yes. Yes. Very much. Oh. 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 Mm. Oh my god, especially with what Zhou has said to him. Ah! Oh my god. Interesting. Hmm. Well, I'm sure Shin Shin knows that there's danger lurking everywhere. Or maybe he doesn't. Or maybe he doesn't. Uh-huh. Ooh. So, are the Ghost Valley, they're not actual ghosts. Are they kind of like assassins where they're like demons or they have power? They seem like they have powers that are beyond normal humans. Or is it just a cultivation subsect? Well, I was turned down, Dad. Turns out he didn't want to have a shotgun wedding, Dad. Oh, wow. Bitch, what? He ain't into the stew, sir. Oh, wow. She doesn't want to lead him on. She wants the other guy that's in a coma. Your betrothed is in a coma, girl. Oh. I didn't like your mom, girl. No, actually. Shin Shin should not be here. Or maybe he should be. Poor Jellion. Shit. My daughter's the prettiest in the land. Oh, that sucks for her. I feel bad for her. Oh, her little curtsy. Oh, come on, Jellion. It's okay. Shin Shin's so moved. He's moved. Oh. Sao Weining. Interesting. I'm only responsible for the bill. Ah! Oh, wow. Ah. Happy meeting. Oh. Oh my god! Ah! Oh, he's a sweet Labrador of a man! Oh, poor Sawing. Oh, is she someone we should be paying attention to? Like the one that was at the place last time? Yes! Oh, it's the alluring ghost! Oh, bitch! Chan Chow. Oh, bitch, yes. I thought she was Liu, but it says Chan Chow. Oh. Oh my god. Bitch, what? Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh. Oh shit. They're like, we're not getting in trouble? Oh, this changes everything. Oh, fudge. Oh, oh, oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. He is the chief! Yes! Of course he's the ghost chief! Ah! Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Him in the green. Oh my god. I am... Who did that? The Mirror Lake. Oh. 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 It should be his, but we don't know for sure. Oh. Oh. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, fudge. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ha ha. A white changing ghost. Oh my god. Oh, fudge. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. No, I can see Suave voicing him now. I can see it now. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. Oh, oh well, oh well. Oh my god. Oh, oh, oh. Oh my god, and they're all in the back. Oh my god. Oh. What about the Scorpion King? Tragicomics, like, really? What about the assassins? You're lying. Oh. What about the assassin? You're lying. Oh. Yeah, exactly. So was it you on Now Lousy? He's been trying to keep himself from laughing this whole time. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well. 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 Um. 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 Well. Okay. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. So things were confirmed this episode. So yeah, Wen KeXing is the ghost chief. In case if we were wondering, he's the ghost chief. Yep, we've confirmed that. He's also effing terrifying. Well, do not make him mad. He's having a bad day. Today, this episode is Wen KeXing has a very, 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 very bad day. This is not a fun time for Wen KeXing. He is not going and doing well through this breakup. I can't, there's a part of me that's glad we're getting to this breakup moment now, because I'm like, surely it's not gonna last the whole series, right? But, the ennui, the angst, and of course, Zhou Zishu has to be like, I thought we were soulmates. You bring that now? You say that now? And then be like, I guess I was mistaken. You take that back, sir. And then we have Han Jing that's over here being like, well, I could just, I could be your rebound. And I'm like, get out. So we're going to bring Whiteboard Kun over here for a little bit, but I have a feeling after this episode, I'm going to need to go back before episode 11 and just redo this, because we only have like a little wee bit of space left. And I feel like we're getting a lot of exposition now that we're entering the second act, and we need to go back through this. So, okay. Wow. I think the interesting contrast that fascinates me the most, and we've talked about it in previous episodes, is the idea that Wen KeXing is kind of, on the inside, he's very dark. dark and troubled and has a very, like, you can tell there's a bad past there that's dark and troubled and disturbing. And he puts on the facade on the outside of being like, I just love to eat my little nuts and go around with my fan and everything, when really he's dark and sinister underneath, right? But there is, I think, the goodness in him is brought out by Zhou Zishu, who Zhou Zishu puts on the front of being like, I'm this hardened assassin, but on the inside he's really soft. So they're kind of polar opposites, but they bring out the best in each other when they bring out the best in each other. And this is just, I wanted them to meet back up. I didn't think it was gonna be the first thing in this episode, and I did not think it was gonna go the way that it did. I wanted them to just be like, hey man, I know I did some crazy things back there, but it's all fine, right? It does not go that way at all. I mean, I give props to Wen KeXing for taking literally a broken sword and trying to dig in the dirt to dig a burial. And at first, Zhou Zishu doesn't see the others. He just sees them digging and he's like, what the fudge are you doing? And of course, Wen KeXing's, beside himself, saying, Aju, him saying that I am sorry it got out of hand. He's like, is your bloodlust too heavy? Why is it every time I see you, I'm either murdering people or burying bodies? And that's when Zhou Zishu says sees their bodies and says the martial arts world is full of evil. It's hard to live in the human world. Of course, Zhou Zishu gets pissed because Zhou Zishu's like, you mean these people are dead? Like, these are the people that I really cared about. And they were like these symbols of peace. And of course, Wen KeXing, what's interesting is Zhou Zishu kind of establishes he doesn't feel as if he's worthy of getting the blessing of gods because he feels like he's done so much evil in his life and he's killed so many people. He doesn't deserve to have retribution or have any good karma. And so hearing Wen KeXing, which Wen KeXing's in the same boat, and the two of them, like him saying that, eulogy, I think Zhou Zishu wonders if it's sincere or not. And because at that point, whenever Wen KeXing's talking about death and he keeps digging in the grave, like, I wonder if Zhou Zishu feels like Wen KeXing was trying to just save face in that moment and wasn't being sincere. And so he says they say people fall victim to their own schemes and only have themselves to blame. And he's like, for now, I won't fight with you. But the four sages weren't bad people. Oh, this unreasonable crime caused them all to die together. And Wen KeXing's like, yeah, I know. I'm not happy about it either. I know I've done something bad. He's like, I'm sorry. And I feel like, he was trying to maybe atone by digging the grave, but it's not enough for Zhou. And then when Zhou gets down, he's like, are you listening to me? And that's when he grabs his hand and says Wen KeXing. Because he says Wen KeXing, he doesn't say Lao Wen, which is not good. He says, are you happy now? He's like, you caused all this chaos. Are you happy now that this has happened? I'm like, are you happy now? I hope you're happy now. Like, they're going to start singing Defying Gravity at any point. And the thing about it is, I think Wen KeXing genuinely was sad that they died. I think he really was genuinely sad. And for Zhou to say, are you satisfied? Is this the result you wanted? Well, of course it's not. Of course this isn't the result that he wanted. He didn't want innocent people like this to die. And I think Zhou Zishu doesn't quite understand when Wen KeXing smiles, it's not necessarily because he's making a joke. He hides behind that smile a lot, because Zhou doesn't understand. I don't think Zhou gets that Wen KeXing hides behind his smile when he's like really sad. And he says, bad people. And then he looks at him. I love that he looks at him and throws the hand away and says, yes, they are not bad people. But then he says, but Leader Zhou. I love that we had Zhou call him Wen KeXing, and then Wen KeXing called him Leader Zhou instead of Aju. When you get called by not the cute nickname, that's when you know it's real. He says, Leader Zhou, do you dare say that all the people you've ever killed were all bad people? And just called him out in that moment. We just have these two former murderers that just need to go off by themselves and reclaim a little piece of a mountain and grow cabbage and, just screw till the end of time and just, atone for their sins. I mean, I'm glad that we have this moment where they're both kind of calling each other out, because I think Wen KeXing had been promoting himself as this kind do-gooder, the philanthropist Wen, and Zhou Zishu was promoting himself as just a beggar man. You know, I'm just an old beggar man. I'm not doing anything wrong. And Wen KeXing was like, I'm just a philanthropist. I'm only a good person. And both of them have done horrible things. And now it's out in the wash that they both have bad pasts. Right? And he's asking him to acknowledge that. He's like, look, you can get mad at me, but haven't you done the same thing? Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I mean, it needed to be said now. And I hate that. I hate because Zhou, he's going to get the last word. He's like, good, fine, be that way. And then and then he leaves. I hate that they're having this breakup episode. I hate it. And it has pushed Wen KeXing to the extreme because he thinks that Zhou has left him and isn't coming back. And we're only on episode 10 of 37. So we know that's not the case, but, but he's sitting there being like, fine, you know what? You're right. I'll just leave. I hate it. It's so sad. I don't like seeing the two of these mad and broken up. I hate that. No, thank you. Who wants that? Not me. And then, of course, Zhou Zishu's like, he thinks back to what he told him. And then he sees like the village that he slaughtered. And of course they show a child that he has killed, just to bring a point that he's done bad things. The friend of Liu Zhao, or Zhu Zhao. I'm thinking of a link click character when I say Liu Zhao. But the girl that was betrothed to Zhu Zhao, Zhou made her poison herself, killed her father in the first episode, has massacred villages filled with women and children that weren't bad people either. The old man that he had do the 7 nails, which we find out is a technique that he came up with himself. Like, yeah, Zhou Zishu's done some pretty bad things. And now he's like, well, I'm atoning for it by killing myself. But, what's so sad is when he sees all of this and he thinks about it and he's like, oh, well, he had the gall to say that I thought he was my soulmate. I'm like, why can't he still be your soulmate? Just because he has a dark past like you doesn't mean that y'all can't be soulmates. Why? Why can't he be your soulmate? Does he have to have a clean soul to balance out yours? Is that what you're thinking? I mean, no one has an entirely clean soul, except for maybe Cao Weining. Cao Weining is literally a lamb, so he might be fine. but I was like, I wanted to just shake Zhou Zishu, because I'm like, you were expecting Wen KeXing to be the light and little savior to balance out your sin? And that's not the case. You both turn out to be sinful men. But, well, then just revel in your sin together, sir. Like, I hate it. And what I hate worse, he's like, because then he's like, how can the two of us bear to be asked about the things we did in our lives? Well, hell, you guys can commiserate over that. You guys can connect through that. You guys can make each other better because you both know what you're capable of. Don't sell yourself short, Zhou Zishu. Speaking of not selling himself short, I'm sorry. Han Jing might be a lovely person, but he is just this desperate third wheel that is trying to get on the rebound, and I just want him gone. I'm like, no, get out of here. He was so desperate. He's like, hey, I noticed that you weren't near that handsome man anymore, so I'm gonna make a move now. They are both, when they're not with each other, it's very frustrating because on the one hand, when Zhou Zishu isn't with Wen KeXing, he drinks himself into like a stupor and drinks himself to sleep by having like copious amounts of alcohol. And then he is just washed in angst and ennui and is like, I guess I'll just die now. Meanwhile, when Wen KeXing is without Zhou Zishu, he turns into a murderous psychopath. It's like, oh, I am glad that we see that most of the fake glazed armor has been collected back by Wen KeXing. Most of it is back with him, and Again, I feel like he's compensating really hardcore by drinking with all of the girls. I feel like if Gu Xiang had shown up, she would have been like, what are you doing? But he tries to compensate. It felt very Wei Wuxian from Odazushi by trying to get all the girls around him and getting them all drunk, but, drinking with them because, can't drink alone. Meanwhile, Zhou Zishu is doing exactly that. And then the idea of the two of them, of course, they're both thinking about, the lies that they told each other about how their goal is to stop all the evil and their goal is to wipe out until there are no, there's no Buddhas in hell and whatever. And I feel like both of them have realized we're both individuals with shady pasts. We shouldn't be lying to each other's faces. We should be honest with each other and go from there. Maybe that's where we'll go to from here. Maybe we'll move forward and the two of them can reconcile and be like, hey, we both have bad pasts. Let's talk about it and go from there. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I do know that I hate seeing Zhou and I hate seeing Wen KeXing like drinking themselves, into oblivion and just being miserable. I hate seeing it, right? So then Wen KeXing, when he's with the one woman, he says, have you experienced this before? There was something that was taken from, that you really wanted, that had disappeared. And then years later, it reappears again. You thought you'd never find it again. And then years later, many years later, it appeared again. So I don't know if Wen KeXing has known Zhou Zishu when they were younger, and I don't know if that's the case. I don't think that Wen KeXing is Yu Zhao. No, I think he's the chief. I don't think that's the case. But I don't know if he's known, if he's talking about a previous life, if he's talking about knowing Zhou Zishu when they were younger, if he's talking about like love, if he had love before, he was in love once and the person he loved was taken from him and he thought he'd never love again. And then he met Zhou Zishu and was like, we're soulmates. And then he's a little bit cryptic there. And the girl says, well, isn't it a good thing you found it again? Something once lost that's returned. And he says, but as time goes by, you can't afford to have any such thing again. I hate that because he doesn't think, Zhou Zishu doesn't believe that he doesn't think he's worthy of someone unless they're pure enough to compensate for his sin. And when KeXing's like, they both think that they're so terrible that they don't deserve love. And I'm like, you two need to just stop it right now and talk to each other. But damn it, can't have that. So meanwhile, this Feng Xiaofeng, he's the redheaded little person that orchestrated the attack, supposedly, allegedly, seemingly, against the Anji, the 4 Anji. So they're trying to find where he is. They can't do that at the moment. Shinshin's like, well, let him get away, but we'll find him, don't worry. After the Heroes Conference, we'll catch him and avenge the 4 sages. So then they talk about how everything's been prepared to get, the Anji back home. And they talk about, the grave that was dug. They think that it could have been the Huang gang. But Gao kind of dismisses that. But then this is brought up. How Gao's like, oh, hey, remember when we thought that the Ghost Valley was responsible for a lot of this? Well, what if they actually weren't? And he's like, they weren't the ones spreading the nursery rhymes to begin with. Because they think that the Ghost Valley has it against the Five Lakes Alliance, which they kind of do. But then Gao says, are we sure that Ao Lizi was killed by the Ghost Valley? I don't think he was. I think that the Changing Ghost is gonna stage a coup or gonna defect and join the assassins. Because back at the Coffin House, when Wen KeXing was actually targeted, it was by the Scorpion King. And it was by the Scorpion King who was working with the Changing Ghost. And the Changing Ghost don't say nothing about that in that meeting. He tried to blame it on his subordinate that got killed by Wen KeXing. So I think that the changing ghost, which a changing ghost being two-faced, surprise of the century, I feel like he's going to betray Wen KeXing and get with the assassins, with the scorpions. I feel that the scorpions are behind most of this. I mean, I think the Window of Heaven and Prince Jin have a stake in this. And the ghosts of the Ghost Valley have a stake in this. And the Five Lakes are not helping themselves. But I think it's the scorpion assassins who are posing as the Ghost Valley to scapegoat them and cause everything to go from bad to worse. I think that's what it is. I think that the scorpions are responsible for a lot of this because nobody's bringing them up. Though we've brought up everybody else. So Shin notices the handiwork and thinks that it's the ghost. But I don't know. I feel like the ghosts work a little bit more clever than that. And the ghosts of the Ghost Valley, if we recall, they're kind of secretive with their attacks. They don't, you know, we're going to have to go back through Wen KeXing's meeting because it was like an exposition dump of like, and I was more like slack-jawed and insanely surprised at how evil Wen KeXing was in that moment. Like, oh, let's not piss him off. It's kind of like, I'm just going to say Heaven Official's Blessing. There is a main character that is a ghost king, per se, in that series. And it's what Wen KeXing is doing at the end of this episode is what I perceived that character to do in that series. And I was like, oh, this is what that would have been like. Oh, okay. Terrifying. But the point I'm getting at is that the Ghost Valley ghosts, their actions always seem to be very secretive and they don't give away their tricks because that's the point. And so the fact that Shin found the sword with the joss paper on it, the fact that the smiling ghost's handiwork, his trademark was done on the Owl Lizy corpses, even though the happy ghost that laughs when he's nervous is like, it wasn't me. I think it was the assassins. I think the assassins are getting intel from the changing ghost about the signature calling cards of all the other ghosts and blaming it on them so that it makes it look like the Ghost Valley is doing things that they're not. I could be wrong, but I am feeling that's leading towards it. I feel like that's where we're headed. He's like, the Ghost Valley showed off the hanging corpses. They're too savage. And then Zhao Jing comes up and says, well, hey now, I know that you're telling the story and everything, but weren't you wasted that night? He like literally kind of threw him under the bus. He's like, weren't you wasted? And should we trust what you were thinking? And he's like, what? He's like, did you follow Owl Lizy? And then he's like, excuse me. And then Zhao Jing is like, but, you know, weren't you just following Owl Lizy to take the armor? And Shin's like, it was our armor to begin with. I was taking it back for my brother that was killed. And Zhao Jing is saying, but the brother that was killed entrusted it with Owl Lizy. So shouldn't we have honored his last dying wishes? And Shin's like, well, I know what his dying wishes are more than he does. And it's like, it is just chaos amongst each other. They're all, no wonder Chengling's dad wanted nothing to do with them because they're crazy. They're just as crazy as Wen KeXing in thinking that they can just smooth all of this over. Do you believe it's within your right to raise hell, causing Owl Lizy to die in a place far from home? Did you even think of the Five Lakes Alliance? Meanwhile, the Broken Sword people, the Broken Sword folks, they think that this all was caused by the Five Lakes Alliance. So we have one group, we have the Five Lakes Alliance thinking the Ghost Valley and possibly another group, the Assassins, are in charge of what's happened. Meanwhile, the Broken Sword Manor thinks that it was the Five Lakes Alliance doing it. Nobody trusts anybody. And we're about to have a heroes conference where all of these different sects of individuals that are blaming each other are about to meet in a powder keg, and that just sounds like it's going to be a hellscape. I'm not ready for that. I thought this conference was going to be something simple, and nope. Yeah, this one man in the purple, though, the sass, when he's like, well, what if they come to see you? And he's like, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm sick. Tell him I'm dead. I was like, oh, shit. He was given the snark and the sass out the wazoo. It was insane. So yeah, so this goes on. And they're still looking for Tianji. Now Tianji's dead, right? Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu found him a long time ago, and he was dead. So I don't know if they're going to find his corpse or what, but he's been dead for quite a while. So I don't know why they keep looking for him. But yeah, the sass. So yeah. And so he makes them all leave. And then we have Zhou Zishu waking up in this room that has 8,000 candles lit. Like, I don't know if Han Jing propped him in bed and was like, light all these candles because you smell like booze and hangover, or what the case may be. But that is almost a fire hazard level of candles lit in that room. I also like the idea that Zhou Zishu looks at the Buddha and he wonders, he's like, you know, after he wakes up, how he was not hungover. I mean, Wen KeXing's hangovers are murder. Literally murder. But how Zhou Zishu was not throwing up in a wastebasket, I have no clue. If I had 2 of those jugs of wine, I'd be the most miserable person. My body would be resetting itself and like going inside out. But not Zhou Zishu. Iron stomach, my friends. But I do like in this scene with Han Jing, Zhou Zishu contemplates, he's like, do I deserve to, you know, really have any grace? And I hate that. I hate the angst that he has for himself. I think that it would be nice for him and Wen KeXing to talk to one another and then both to work through, like, you've done this, I've done this. Do we deserve love? Do we deserve forgiveness? I don't know. I really want them to talk it out, and I want them to communicate and get on speaking terms again, because I hate seeing them apart. This episode was rough. This episode was hard. And Wen KeXing without Zhou Zishu is terrifying. So yeah, we need Zhou Zishu to talk some sense into him. Look, Han Jing, good for him. I know he's trying to score the rebound in this scene, but he comes across as really desperate. And I appreciate that he loves Zhou Zishu. Who wouldn't? He's immaculate. I mean, clearly he's gotten the attention of a ghost chief. So how would you not? But I like Han Jing a bit, but I feel like he's so pushy. And Zhou's like, And I feel like that goes to show you that Han Jing is not the type of person for Zhou Zishu, because Zhou Zishu's like, whoa, you're really desperate. I don't need a yes man. I need someone to challenge me. Guess who challenges him like every day? Wen KeXing. So he doesn't need a Han Jing that tries to suck up to him. He doesn't need somebody to suck up to him. He needs someone to... I don't want to say it. It's vulgar. It's vulgar gutter mind. If you would not like to have a vulgar gutter mind, please ignore the next 10 seconds and just cover your ears, ignore it. But Zhou Zishu doesn't need somebody to suck up to him. He needs somebody to suck on. And that's not Han Jing. So, yeah. I mean, Han Jing, you might be a lovely person, but because Han Jing's just like, I said I would follow you till the end. And Han Jing kind of gives... In this episode, Han Jing gives to me vibes like Gu Xiang gives to Wen KeXing. So I feel like Gu Xiang saying later on that she would follow Wen KeXing no matter what, even if he went insane. And Han Jing saying, oh, I would follow you, Zhou Zishu, even if, you were an assassin, even if you weren't forgiven. I feel like they both give off similar vibes. So I can't ship Gu Xiang with Wen KeXing, of course, and I can't do that with Han Jing and Zhou Zishu, but... Also, every fiber in my being, I love Zhou Zishu's robes with the white underneath and the light tinted green. Colors that are kind of like Wen KeXing's. Just throwing that out there. Kind of like them. Throwing it out there, like boyfriend robes. I kept wanting to straighten the damn collar on his white. I know he's supposed to be hungover, and that's the point, but I kept wanting to straighten his collar. It was really bugging me. It's like when students on my speech team have a suit that's on, I'm like, straighten that up. Like, I kept wanting to fix it. But yeah. But Zhou Zishu is like, and of course, Han Jing frames it as they did what they did because the options were do these evil deeds or die. And of course, Zhou Zishu is thinking, but we didn't have to do it in the end. So he's kind of like, he's like, should I really have gotten that mad at Wen KeXing because I've done some pretty bad things? Did I really have the right to get mad at him because I've done some pretty bad things too? And Zhou's like, shit, I might have said something I shouldn't have. So he thanks Han Jing for taking care of him. And he's like, the more I interact, the more danger you'll be in. So, you need to lie low in the window of heaven. And he's like, protect yourself. And then, of course, Han Jing's like, I would betray Prince Jin for you. I'll lay down my life for you. And Zhou's like, that's the last thing I want people to do. That's not what you need to say to Zhou Zishu to get his affection. Because he's like, no. And that's when they bring up the glazed armor piece that he has. He says, why do you have a piece of it? And he's like, what? He's like, well, yes. He says, my subordinates found 2 identical pieces on the 9-clawed fox Fang Bougie. And Zhou's like, oh, really? And that's when he says, well, there's more of them. There's counterfeits everywhere. There's probably many more of these imitations in the martial arts world. He's like, well, I've been saying that the 5 pieces of the glazed armor in the prince's drawing were all various different designs. So how could 2 pieces be exactly the same? So what? Okay. And they're all imitations. So Han Jing knows about the armory enough to know that each piece is different. And he's like, it doesn't make any sense for there to be all the imitations. So he's done some research. And at that point, Zhou Zishu is like, well, why did... And then he said Lao Wen. He said Lao Wen. He didn't say Wen KeXing. He said Lao Wen. He's like, he did such a wicked thing that doesn't even benefit himself. So I think in that moment, Zhou Zishu's like, now wait a minute. Why would Wen KeXing do this trick, as cruel as it was, when it gives him no benefit? What's the reason why he did it? And I feel like in that moment, Zhou might be thinking, why would he have done that? Do I not know the full story? Did I maybe judge him too rashly too soon? I don't know. I don't know how he's going to see him again at this point, unless it's at the Heroes Conference. And Zhou's like, shit, did I make a mistake? And so Zhou's like, well, you know what? We're just going to, you just keep a hold of the glazed armor. Don't get involved. And he's like, I'll find the 2 pieces. He's like, well, he's like, what does he say there? He says, I'm willing to do anything to find the lost 2 pieces of the glazed armor. And Zhou's like, no, please don't. You'd be committing a crime of rebellion. And he says, I swore an oath of loyalty to you, not to Prince Jin. And Zhou's like, I didn't put you in charge in my absence for you to go screwing this up. He's like, I'm going to die, so just let me die an old beggar, and you keep doing what you got to do to live a good life. He's like, all the 81 people of my, 4 Seasons manor have been annihilated. It's my fault. I just want to die, and pay for my sins. So I don't want you to call me my lord or to go with me. Which, if there are really gods and Buddhas, he's like, wouldn't I, with my blood-stained hands, have to suffer in the deepest pits of hells for thousands of years? You know what? Him and Wen KeXing can suffer together. They can suffer together in a pit for thousands of years, all alone, nude. I'm not doing well with this breakup era. I'm not doing well with it at all. So then we go back to Liu Liu and Tao Huang and the Huang guy. And so they're like, well, this is dumb. What happened here? And then they talk about how Chengling is being proposed to get married to Xianlian. And they're like, Chang is planning to basically just keep Cheng under house arrest under a proposed marriage. Which is pretty sad that he was willing to use his own daughter that way. That was a bit rough. And so then they say that if he does really get controlled over that little bastard. How dare they call Chengling a little bastard? Gu Xiang and Chengling, we get their scene next, and oh my god. Also, man, this nut company got a lot of paid promotion. I want these nuts. Now that I'm watching this, I'm like, I want to go and get a bag of them, now that they're supposedly amazing and Gu Xiang's telling me that I need them. Also, I like the nuts being a metaphor for being gay. In a sense, not for Gu Xiang. Gu Xiang can eat them all she wants. But I do like the metaphor that Wen KeXing eats nuts all the time. He likes nuts quite a lot. And Chengling's like, nope, I'm heterosexual. He's like, I don't want the nuts. I know that's not true. But what I love about Gu Xiang's relationship with Chengling is that she is like a sister to him in a lot of ways. I know you could ship them together, although she's a ghost. So, but she asks who bullied him, and poor Chengling crying, like getting punched in the face. I love that she's like, tell me, I'll break their legs. Like, that's such big sister vibes. Also, Xian Lian, she wants to marry the guy that's in a coma, so I can't really ship her with Chengling now because she's got somebody she loves. So, Gu Xiang, you got choice between one Labrador and another Labrador. Take a pick, girl. So, I love Gu Xiang wanting to stand up for Chengling. I think that's so sweet. I love it. And I love when she just like pats him and she's like, don't cry, you good for nothing warrior gold bean. I love their relationship so much. It's so sweet. And she just wants to help him. She just wants to help people that are in need, right? So, and she like tries to cheer him up. And that's when Xian Lian shows up and Chengling wants nothing to do with her. I like Gu Xiang being like, we're besties. We've known each other forever. And Xian Lian's like, cool. And I like Chengling standing up for himself where he's like, I don't want to marry you. You're nice, but I know why we're getting married. Your dad just wants to keep me under house arrest and steal the glazed armor if I have it from me and keep me from going anywhere. And he's like, I don't like my freedom being taken away from me at the age of 15. So be cool if we could not get married and I can move along. And I feel for Xian Lian because she doesn't want to get used. I like that Gu Xiang's like, do I need to leave? So this episode was all just about breakups. Everybody breaking up, everybody moving different ways. I felt bad for Xian Lian. She was super cute. She even, like, I love her robes. She was even trying to give him the food that was, like, in the same style as his home. And then she gets sad and leaves. I like that as soon as she walks out the door and she runs down the stairs, Gu Xiang's like, hey, I'm still here. She's like, man. She's like, I mean... Oh, I love that she's like, man, that was something. But yeah, Chengling says, I'd be taking something that doesn't belong to me, like a turtle dove occupying a magpie's nest, and I'll become subject to the gossip of others. Because he knows that this whole shotgun redneck wedding that's been proposed, which, by the way, Gao's move in this episode is the most redneck southern U.S. thing. Like, well, we're just gonna get married. It's like the redneck equivalent of an arranged marriage. And I love that Chengling's like, I know what's going on. I don't want people talking about me. And then I like that Gu Xiang's like, well, weren't you being mean to her? And he's like, she's fine. I just don't want to get married. And Gu Xiang's like, well, I hear you. I guess that makes sense. Meanwhile, while Zhao is having realizations about maybe he said the wrong thing too soon without knowing Wen KeXing fully, Wen KeXing is still getting drunk. I like that as this episode goes on, the light blue, soft colored robes are slowly like coming off of him and the red is showing underneath. The red like for the ghost chief. I love it. Although the green he wears, oh, that dark green. Ooh. Villainous, vile green, so villainous, no softness here, full-blown peacock. But yeah, I love that red is revealed, and then he quotes the poetry, the flowers exist throughout all 4 seasons, knowing everything in the world. Oh, I feel so bad for him, because he's so sad. And then Gu Xiang shows up and she's like, hey, master, Chengling needs our help. I don't know what you're doing over here. See that you're getting drunk. Don't know where Zhou is. That's weird. Anyway, I kept waiting for her to ask where Zhou was, but she didn't. So she talks about Gao Chong wanting to marry off Chengling, and Wen KeXing rolls his eyes at that and says that Gao's going all in. She's like, yes. So... she's like, originally she was lovers with Deng Quan, who was the first disciple of the Yuyang sect. Okay, so Deng Quan was the guy that came up and the one guys were like, oh, you're a peasant, and he's in the coma from the last episode. I'm sure you've all commented on that by now, but I get it now. I was like, oh, okay. So we had basically Duan Quan, and he's the one in the coma. And we know that Xian Lian likes him. She likes him. He's in the coma. He is the one that is the survivor of the tragicomic funeral. The fighting arena where, let me see, there was the tragicomic fight. He was the sole survivor that ended up killing to save himself. Okay, so that all makes sense now. Now we know who he is, and he's in a coma, even though they're not really sure why he's still in a coma. He should be healed by now. Mysteriousness. Everyone accepted it as a fact. And Gu Xiang, a lot of people started gossiping. So apparently Jean Leon was supposed to be engaged to him. Gu Xiang called it off to engage her to Chengling, and everybody's gossiping about it. So it makes her look bad, makes Chengling look bad, and it makes kind of Gao look bad too. And she's like, that Deng Quan was the survivor of the last tragicomic wedding funeral game. So the wedding funeral game, amazing. I like its tragicomic wedding funeral kind of goes together. So he was the survivor of the fight, and she says that now he's in a coma, but she says he returned to Yu Yang sect a few days ago. We don't know who hurt him and caused him to go unconscious. And Wen KeXing's like, you don't know who hurt him. She's like, I was at the tragicomic. Oh, so she was there. When was she there? What was she doing? What was she? She's like, he had some surface wounds, but he should have been fine. So she's like, he shouldn't be bad enough to be unconscious. Okay, so Gu Xiang was there at that fight in the background, but someone has hurt him more. Someone has hurt him more than the wedding funeral. I don't want to place blame, because you know how this works in this series. You start placing blame and then you find out it was somebody else entirely. I wonder if it was the assassins. I don't know. So then I couldn't keep up with everything that was like all the exposition that was coming out. So then when KeXing says, was the corpse incident in the theater the changing ghosts work? So the theater, the corpse thing, the corpse with, so it wasn't the assassins, it was the changing ghost. So the corpse in the theater, the heads that were chopped up, was the changing ghost. You know what the insane thing about this is? I think the assassins were also involved, which again is helping my theory that the changing ghost is planning to defect from Ghost Valley and go with the assassins. That's my thought. But also, the fact that Wen KeXing was just smiling and being like, oh my gosh, and the whole time he was knowing what was going on. Oh. And she goes, yes, it was his work. And he's like, how much do you and the tragic comic ghost know? He seems to really be close to the tragic comic ghost, which she's the eldest ghost, I feel. So it would make sense he's close to her because she's been around the longest, and the alluring ghost is kind of tied to her. So interesting that he trusts the tragic comic and Gu Xiang. And she's like, why? Is there anything wrong? And of course, I think Wen KeXing is trying to piece stuff together, but he doesn't know enough information yet. And he's like, if he marries Gao's only daughter, he would be climbing up the ladder of society. And I like that Gu Xiang's like, he seems stupid. But he actually knows exactly what's going on. But I think that Gao's being way too obvious. He's just keeping Chengling arrested. And so then she says, he misses you a lot. Well, he misses both of his dads, but she's not going to mention Zhou because she knows he's in a bad mood. She's like, he misses you a lot, so we could save him, I like when KeXing's like, why would he miss me? And she's like, I just want you to rescue him. Why do I have to explain myself? She's like, I just found him pitiful. So, and the moment she said I found him pitiful and I thought we could save him, the look that Wen KeXing gives her is like it goes from protective dad mode to disapproving dad mode. Like, didn't we have the discussion of the puppies? Haven't you adopted 2 already? Why are we adopting a 3rd? Especially one that's connected to Zhou Zishu. And he's like, And that's when he puts the liquor down and he gets serious with her. And he is scary. He's like, are you criticizing my plan that I have? And I like that she says, yeah, kind of. She's like, I wouldn't dare. And then when he said, have you worn human skin for so long, you've truly forgotten who you are? I guess they are ghosts or demons, or I don't know how this works in this world, because he talks about making them a ghost for real, but I'm like, are they like in between realms? And he's like, you are the heartless amethyst fiend. She's half. So apparently, Gu Xiang is supposed to be the heartless amethyst fiend. So she's not the heartless ghost. She's not the amethyst ghost, but she's just a fiend. She's like a rank below. Okay. Humans and ghosts travel different roads, and you pity him. I don't know how the ghosts work exactly in this world, if they are legit ghosts or if they're just like demons or how this works, but he differentiates them from humans, or if they're called ghosts because they're like a step even beyond assassins. Maybe, possibly. But, you know, he's like humans, ghosts, we're living together, even though I was going to do it with Zhou. Of course. And then he says, you pity him, but who's going to pity you? And I think that, you know, Zhou Weining would pity her. Of course, he's also projecting a lot of his own anger onto her, because he's like, well, who would pity you as a ghost? And it's like, you want Zhou to pity you, so you're projecting your frustrations onto Gu Xiang. And he's like, there's something else planned. So he tells her to watch him closely. And if anything happens, report to me. And she says, okay. I think she can tell that he's in a bad mood. And then he says, Zhang, do you think I'm insane? And she goes, yes. I love that she's like, yeah, she's honest. She goes, yes, you are insane, sir. And he smiles at that and says, aren't you afraid I will go insane someday and kill you as well? And she goes, well, I would follow you even if you did go insane. And if you kill me, I would follow you even as a ghost. And that's when he says, good. So, I guess because she says, if you kill me, I'll follow you as a ghost as well. So there is a difference between a ghost and whatever they are. I know it's probably hard to explain, and I don't know if there's a way to explain it without spoiling me of what that means. I don't know if that's possible, but maybe I will find out, perhaps. I don't know. It is the one aspect that I'm like, I'm curious about, but I don't know if I want to wait until the novel to see if they're going to give me more. That is, I don't know what to think about that. He says, in that case, then I shall stay insane until the end. I feel like that's such a... Because you had Zhou Zishu saying, like, I thought you were dumb and crazy, but you really are insane. And he said it in such a negative way, and it felt like an insult to Wen KeXing. But then Gu Xiang's like, well, even if you are insane, I'll follow you. And he's like, fine, then I'll just stay insane. He's like, if Zhou Zishu's going to call me a monster, then I'll just be a monster, is literally what he says and does in this episode. And I'm like... So then we have the Heroes Conference. They keep amping us up for this Heroes Conference. It's getting ready to start. And Shinshin's like, you know, should we be worried about this? And he's like, oh, you know, the martial arts world seems peaceful on the surface, but things are dangerous. I can't believe Shinshin said things aren't that bad. I was like, sir, where have you been the last 9 episodes? I think things are pretty rough right now. He's like, well, we've gathered all these heroes from across the city, you know, it'll be fine. We'll stop the Ghost Valley. And Gao does not seem sure. He's like, the Ghost Valley aren't the only ones that are after us. I think he knows. I think Gao has an idea that the Assassins and the Beggar Gang and the Huang sect, I think he has an idea that the Five Lakes Alliance have more than one set of enemies. And pinning it all in the Ghost Valley sounds good as lip service to the public, but they can't really believe that because they're just opening themselves up to an attack if they do so. I also like that Jean Leon stands up to her dad and basically is like, you know, I don't like my life dictated for me. She's like, this kid doesn't like me. Chengling doesn't like me. I like this other guy. I really wish you'd not dictate my life. And Gao, I know some people probably sympathize with Gao, but when Gao's like, your parents are supposed to decide your children's fate, I'm like, Gao does not make it easy to sympathize with him at all. And so I can't quite do it because I feel for Jean Leon. I feel bad for her. I'm glad she sticks up for herself. I'm glad she says she has her pride and she speaks her piece before she's sent away. I'm glad she did that. Good for her. Good for her. Meanwhile, Gu Xiang is hanging out with Sao Weining again, having a good old time, and she's trying to figure out some details. You can tell when Gu Xiang is restless. She's like, what do I do? What do I do? And she wants a song to be played as they're eating together. And she goes and requests a song. I love when Sao says, I'm only responsible for the bill. Wei-Ning's like, anything, I'm paying. He is a little lamb. And so she requests the song Happy Meetings from them, which has some kind of meaning, I'm sure, that we, the audience, don't know yet. But Sao Weining is like, is she trying to tell me something? Bless his heart. Sao Weining is a precious angel baby, and I love him so much. Meanwhile, as they're going through the town square, we see the alluring ghost being led alongside a woman with a parasol. They both have veils over their faces. And we see the Qingyu Tower. And then she looks over and sees what looks like marks from the ghost. I guess it's telling them to go meet somewhere. I guess that's the signal. The chief asks for you. Okay. And Sister Chancho. It says her name is Chancho, but I thought her name was Liu. Maybe it's Liu Chancho. Interesting. Or Chancho Liu. So she's like, okay, what are we doing meeting with the chief? And we're at the low mansion where all this is going down. This last scene, oh my God. Oh my God. The greens, the reds, Wen KeXing. Remember at the intro when Anime Annie was saying that Junichi Sawabe was voicing the Japanese dub of Wen KeXing, and I was like, that voice doesn't seem to fit him. Wen KeXing has a lot softer tendencies. I don't know if Junichi Sawabe can capture the menace. Junichi Sawabe would be too menacing for such a sweet philanthropist Wen. No! No, this scene, I'm like, I kind of want to see Junichi Sawabe voice this scene. I want to see it voiced right now. Actually, if anybody has a clip on it, please share in the Discord. I need to see this. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so let's go through this discussion because it is kind of insane. We corkscrew through the circle to get to all of them gathered in front of Wen KeXing, who is the chief. We don't know exactly what ghost he is, but he is the chief. He's like, I allowed 3 ghosts of Mount Qingya to break the oath and exit the valley, which is the changing ghost, the lustful ghost, and the happy ghost, right? And then he says, in order for you to get you to catch the hanged ghost and take back the glazed armor he stole. So, okay. So now that we go up here, they were going after the hanging ghost. The chief is Wen KeXing, surprising no one. But the glazed armor piece number 1 was taken by the hanging ghost, and that's who they're looking for. They still haven't found him yet, or the glazed armor piece that he stole. So, as of right now, he's like, you haven't been able to track him down at all. Now, the crazy thing is, the hanged ghost, for all we know, he was caught, I thought, by the chief at the beginning of the series. So, is that true? And Wen KeXing is just testing all of them to see who the traitor is? Is this a Ron Swanson coffee pot incident where Wen KeXing's like, who hasn't found the hanged ghost yet? And the reality is he's already found him? I don't know. I don't know who else would have that. The green robes on him look terrifying with the red lining. And And he has the fan. He's like, instead you caused all this trouble. The tragic comic ghost looks uncomfortable throughout all of this because she looks like shit could go down at any minute and she is just expecting him to just blow up. She's like, he's not in a great mood today. Great. And then the happy ghost is trying not to laugh because they're so nervous. The lustful ghost and the alluring ghost are like, we have nothing to do with any of this. And the changed ghost, I feel, is a traitor and is like, you organized 3 tragicomic wedding funerals, annihilated the Dongyang sect and destroyed the Mirror Sect Lake, and killed the Mount Tai sect leader and public 3 corpses to provoke the Five Lakes Alliance in 3 months. You destroyed the peace that's been maintained for 20 years. And he's like, very good indeed. And so they're all like asking him for forgiveness. But when KeXing's like, oh no, this is fine. I'm not mad at you for what you did. They deserve it. But he's like, things aren't going according to the plans that I laid out. He's like, you didn't do any proper business in these 3 months. But you still punished the self-righteous Lake sect. So he tells them all to get up. I love that he like fires the fan around. They could chop their heads off and then takes it back. The moment that when KeXing gets the red eyeliner underneath his eyes, which was shown with the chief early on, he's kind of terrifying. Kind of terrifying. I don't know how Zhou Zishu would react to this, honestly. I have no clue how Zhou Zishu would react to this, if I'm being frank. I don't know if we're ever going to have Zhou Zishu see him like this, to be honest. So he makes them all stand up. And he says, as for Mary, I like the tragic comic ghost. She doesn't stand up. She's the only one that sits her ass down and is like, I'm not getting up. I feel like she's right up there with him. He says, for merit, she doesn't get up. She stays seated because she's like, I don't see the need to. I feel like she's the only one that's kind of on his level. Because he's like, were the tragic comic wedding funerals fun? Wasn't it a great idea of mine? And I like that she doesn't answer him. She's like, in watching the fake things destroy their pretenses of friendship and rip each other to shreds like crazy dogs was more fun than killing yourself, right? And she says, oh, you're wise, Chief. I feel like she's kind of just saying it right now because they're in front of all the other ghosts and she doesn't want to bring it up. But I think she thinks maybe he's going a little bit over the top and she's like, calm the frick down. But she's like, yep, sure thing. Like, I feel like if any of them could talk back to Wen KeXing, it would be her. And I'm wondering if she will. Because she seems like she's just kind of like tolerating it right now, but she's not happy with the way he's acting. But he doesn't make her stand up, which is interesting. And he says the Dongyang sect, what does he say there? They shelter evil. He says they shelter evil people and tolerate evil practices. So the tragicomic funerals, the wedding funerals, were all to punish the Dongyang sect because they were evil, because they had evil practices. So it's basically, I mean, when he's telling Zhou Zishu, he's like, yeah, we're punishing people, who are doing evil deeds. He's not wrong in doing that, I guess. He says, Liu Taichung deserves all the credit. It's fine to kill all the disciples of the Dongyang sect, but you caused Liu Taichung to die of anger. I wanted to keep him alive to deal with him slowly. I don't remember who Liu Taichung is, but was he the guy that they made, like, talk to the gravestone and kill himself? Whenever he, clicks his tongue, oh, that just, you felt it. And he told the tragicomic ghost that it was negligence, but he's not going to reward or punish her. He's like, do you accept me doing nothing? I love he's like, I'm not going to reward you and I'm not going to punish you. I'm just going to, like, scold you. Is that okay, ma'am? And she's like, yep. And he's like, okay, good. Nothing's going to happen to you. I love she's like, okay. Glad we had the formality of that moment. They feel very much like siblings, kind of, He's like, let's talk about the second meritus service. The Mirror Sect's overnight annihilation. Who was responsible? And he's like, I love these. Like, great job, great job. Who wants to take who wants to take responsibility? No one does. Which is interesting because when KeXing was there the night of the annihilation and saw all of the people, like the ones in the back, dressed up as the ghost goons, and he's like, well, we dealt with them. Who was it that did that? Who set that up? Nobody gonna take credit? I think that was the assassins. I think the assassins set it up, but they made it look connected to the ghosts. Yeah, nobody takes credit for it. Uh-huh. So they talk about it being the long-tongued ghost. We've not had the long-tongued ghost. They frame it on him, saying it's the long-tongued ghost. Wasn't the long-tongued ghost the one that was... Okay, hold on, hold up. Wasn't the long-tongued ghost the one... I want to go back and go to episode... Would it be episode 4? Would it be that episode where... I'm going to go to my drive and pull up episode 4. Is it that episode that... I'm going to turn my sound off and get there. Was it the one where they were in... Was episode 4 where they were in the coffin house? I feel like it was. Well, we saw the assassins. That's not it. Maybe it was episode 3. Yeah, it might have been episode 3 or episode 2. We're going to go back to that. Okay. Did he look like the long-tongued ghost? Did he? I want to see if that's the case or not. Because we saw the place get attacked by the ghost, and when KeXing's like, yeah, this is weird, isn't it? And I guess it was episode 3. Okay. I want to go back to this and find exactly where it is. Oh, y'all are going to kill me. You're like, what? Go back to where it was. Oh my God. All right. Where was this at? Where they were being attacked. Okay. It was episode 5 and 6 where this was happening. Okay. I'm going to go back to episode 6 real quick. Sorry this is taking so long, but I wanted to see where it was exactly, if it was the long-tongued ghost in that moment. Okay. Because he fired his fan over and shot it, and then there was a guy ringing the bell. Was he the long-tongued ghost? Or was he just working with the assassins? Okay. Sorry that took so long to check. So, my guess is... If the long-tongued ghost was the one that when KeXing slit the throat of and the assassins found him, the assassin didn't exactly say who it was that orchestrated that, and the changing ghost wouldn't know. So we are led to believe that when KeXing understands that as he's talking to all of these other ghosts, he already knows that the long-tongued ghost is dead and knows that he was working with the assassins potentially. But he's trying to rat out anybody that might have also been working as well. And he says, changing ghost, where's your subordinate? The long-tongued ghost is yours. And he's like, oh, well, ever since we left the valley, he no longer listens to my orders. And when KeXing's face is like, oh, that's highly convenient. He's like, he probably has already defected. So yeah, I feel like when KeXing looks at him like, you are bullshitting me so much right now. Yeah, so I think that the changing ghost and the long-tongued ghost were all working with the assassins to try to orchestrate this whole thing. But the changing ghost doesn't want to let Wen KeXing know. So he's trying to scapegoat his subordinate. And when KeXing already knows the truth, he's just trying to catch changing ghost in a lie. Interesting. I like the other ghosts are all just kind of standing there like, shh, we're not saying a damn word. He's like, I was unable to govern my subordinate. I feel like the alluring ghost looks over at him like, you are digging holes, my friend. Digging holes. And when KeXing's like, well, that's a shame. He's like, your subordinate wouldn't listen to you anymore. He's like, the rules of the Ghost Valley dictate the weak are the prey of the strong. And the able ones are in charge. So if he has the ability to kill you, then I guess, that'll be a problem we'll have to face later on. He's like, but if any of you want to try to kill me, go right ahead. And none of them do. Uh-huh. Meanwhile, What is it? What happens there? What did the white subordinate say? Because the happy ghost is trying not to laugh about it. Right? And they're all like, shit. And the lustful ghost is like, and so then the white one says, I wouldn't dare. Uh-huh. And Wen KeXing's like, did I give you permission to speak? Which kind of ties to the alluring ghost a little bit. The alluring ghost is kind of like Wen KeXing too, being like, I didn't tell you you could do things. And so then he goes up to the changing ghost subordinate and said, you wouldn't dare. That's funny. The evil ghosts of Mount Qingya fight in life and death struggles every day of the year. If I had sat here with injuries today, who would you dare to say you wouldn't kill? Who would you dare to say that you wouldn't kill me to replace me? Yeah, he said the wrong thing. And then she tried to you know, beg for forgiveness. And he's like, yeah. And then I love the lustful ghost is like, shit, he's dead. Lustful ghost already knows what's going down before it even happens. And the changing ghost realizes it too. And alluring ghost is like, welp. The changing ghost loses one of his subordinates. Poor changing ghost. Poor white changing ghost. I feel like the tragic comic ghost is like, are we taking it too far by killing one of our own? I love that the black changing ghost just sits there like, shit. Uh-huh. It is, oof. And Wen KeXing's like, well, he's your subordinate, so do you think he deserves to die? And the changing ghost tries to tell him no. He's like, we need the manpower. And Wen KeXing's like, well, we don't need that. The fact that he took him there, and that's when the tragic comic ghost stands up. And Wen KeXing then ties the thing around him and just hangs him there, like, as an example while he's talking. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. And so he says, yeah, about that. You know what? You're right. The Ghost Valley does need manpower. But the martial arts world is full of rotten people. And I want to use them as well. But I am the chief of the Ghost Valley, and ghosts are the only ones I can use. Isn't that right? Black changing ghost. And then black changing ghost is like, yep, you are correct. So he says, black changing ghost, I turned your good brother into a ghost for no reason. Do you feel resentful? And he says, no, it was a great kill, chief. And he says, how boring. Nobody challenging him. Oh my God. Terrifying. Terrifying in like 2 seconds. Yep. And he's like, let's just talk about your merits instead. So then that's when he like sits down, like Wen KeXing, just sitting down, legs open, ready to go. I mean, he's terrifying, but he's really hot in this scene. I was like, oh, Gong Jun. I was wondering if Gong Jun was going to be able to pull off being a terrifying ghost chief. No, he does. Nope, he does. He does, in fact. He says, was it your plan to throw out the corpses in Yang City? And he says, well, yes, it was. He's like, okay. And he says, does anyone else assist you? Now, if the changing ghost were being truthful, he would say that the assassins were helping him, because they were. Scorpion King was there. But he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that at all. He just says it was his subordinates. I feel like the tragic comic ghost knows that he's lying too. I feel like she can see right through him as well. Because she like kind of like goes, really? She has a look on her face like, are you serious? And of all the ghosts, Wen KeXing only asked Gu Xiang about her and the tragic comic ghost. So I feel like they're the ones in the know. He's like, I don't think there was any assistance from the outside. That's not. And he's like, well, then who did you send to handle it? And he points at the dead, the white changing ghost. Dead men tell no tales. What irony. The person who's sent to do it is the person that's dead. Isn't that funny? So now the one guy that like looks up at the white changing ghost and like licks his lips. He's not the long-tongued ghost at all. Who is he? Who be he? So like the white changing ghost was incompetent and his crimes deserved far more punishment than death. Yeah, now he talks a big game. Wen KeXing sees right through all of it, bitch. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, how things change. At first he was begging Wen KeXing not to kill him, and now he's blaming him for everything and saying that it was a good thing he's dead. And Wen KeXing's like, well, you know, who killed Mount Tai sect leader? Who did that? Anybody want to claim? Happy Ghost, was it you? Now, the Happy Ghost, what was interesting is the Happy Ghost says, you know, Al Lizy, why did you kill him? And he's like, no, it wasn't me. He's like, I would have claimed it if it was mine, but it was someone imitating me. He says, this is an old problem of mine. So then when KeXing's like, you know what? I believe you. I believe that it wasn't you. But he's like, it is quite funny. Oh my God. The Happy Ghost being freaked out and trying not to laugh. And the Lustful Ghost is just beside him like, terrifying. Terrifying, y'all. And he's like, seeing you guys so scared is of course funny. But it's only funny for a moment. And so then he says, we have to find other ways to entertain ourselves. The gathering of the righteous bastards is in 2 days. Oh my God. And he's like, speak freely now. We have to devise a cunning plan to utterly destroy the pride of those 3 surviving lead dogs of the Five Lakes Alliance. So much that they can't reassemble again. Wouldn't that be truly funny? And then he laughs like a villain. I mean, I don't know what the Five Lakes Alliance has done to Wen KeXing, but he hates all of them. He doesn't want them to get the glazed armor, but he also doesn't want people working behind his back to steal it, which he thinks that's what's happening. And I think that's what's happening with the changing ghost and the assassins. What an episode. And I know I've talked for like an hour and 10 minutes about this. Ah! I don't know. A couple things. How are Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu going to reconcile and get back together? How's that going to work? Is Zhou Zishu ever going to learn about this side of Wen KeXing? How would Zhou Zishu handle this side of Wen KeXing? I don't know. But we got a long way to go, y'all, in this series, and I have to wait for comments before I watch episode 11! Ah! It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts down below, but what an episode. I'm terrified of Wen KeXing now, so that's fun. But I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts down below in your comments, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'm back real soon with episode 11, maybe some more cheerful times of Word of Honor. Bye.